Hello and welcome to Exactor. Exactor provides a complete, fully automated, end-to-end solution for sales tax. That means that, in addition to calculating the taxes in real time, it also tracks a transaction if there are any changes, such as returns, credits, and exemptions. At the end of the month, Exactor will compile all of the information, generate and file the tax returns, and make the tax payment on behalf of the business owner. The system is very modular, so business owners can choose what part of the service they want to use. The Exactor module plugs into any point of transaction where you might need a tax calculation: your online shopping cart, your accounting software, or ERP systems. Installing the Exactor module is easy. In many situations, many shopping carts, accounting programs like QuickBooks and Peachtree, installation is performed totally automatically. Immediately after creating their account, new customers will receive an email with a link pointing them to where they can get their plugin. A detailed user guide with screenshots and explanations will then walk you through the process of installing the software and setting up your account. The entire process should not take more than a few moments. Let us begin by viewing an online shopping cart, which will show how easy and transparent the Exactor plugin is. I will go through a standard shopping experience and will then show you how all transactions are reflected in reports in real time and completely transparent to the customer. The customer completes the online shopping experience invoice in the standard manner that they are accustomed to. Then, after entering the credit card information, and proceeding to the authorization page, the Exactor plugin will kick into operation and insert the calculated taxes so that when the customer is authorizing the transaction amount, it includes the actual taxes owing. Even though the sophistication of the Exactor engine performs many processes that can't be seen under the hood, you can see that there is no delay in generating the taxes, and it is transparent and completely seamless to the customer. They do not need to click on any extra button. Similarly, using an invoice in QuickBooks, you can see how easy and transparent the Exactor module works with accounting and ERP systems. In this invoice, users complete it as they would regularly do and click Save. Users do not need to click on any additional button or do anything else to perform the sales tax calculation. All customers have an exclusive control panel through which they can control their account and see transactions in their reporting system. Access to the control panel is from this login screen. As you can see, users need to enter their account number, username, and password. Upon successful login, the user will land on the account homepage. Let's go to the reports to see the transactions we just did. This report shows all transactions for the account that fall within the defined date range, aggregated to the invoice level. It displays the basic transaction information: the date, the buyer, purchase amount, and tax amount. By clicking on the transaction ID, you can see the actual transaction details. The transaction detail begins to show you the complexity of the sales tax system. In this report, you will see at the top the basic transaction information: the buyer, seller, bill to information, and transaction date. As we scroll down, you can see the taxes of each line item. Exactor calculates the taxes on each item and provides the tax breakdown for each line, as well as the total for the invoice on the bottom. You can see that for each line here, there are 4 to 5 different taxes: the state, county, city, and special district. Exactor needs to track this information so that we can generate and file accurate returns later on. Let us go now to see how you manage your account. We'll first go to the Account Management tab from where you manage the account. The Manage Account page provides company account information, including the address, telephone number, and corporate ID information. As a safety mechanism, the user can edit the information only after clicking the Edit button. Let us move now to the Manage Users tab. Exactor allows each account to have as many users as the business owner wants. Each user has his or her own username and password. You can see the different users from the Manage Users tab. The Manage Users page provides information about all of the users allowed to access the account. You can both add new users or highlight any user and change his or her information. You can do this to control access, such as preventing access from someone who has left the company. Now, we will go to the Product Mapping tab. This tells Exactor what is it that you sell. Every state has different tax rules for different products, also known as product taxability. A simple example is software. One may purchase software by downloading it from the internet, and if so, it is taxed one way. If you purchase the very same software that performs the exact same functionality, but receive it on a CD, it may be taxed differently, even within the same state. Other states may have even more and different rules in addition. For Exactor to apply all of the different rules correctly and in real time, we need to know what you are selling in each transaction. One thing to note, this step is not mandatory. If you do not provide us with this information, Exactor will be conservative and assume that the item is taxed. However, if you think there might be some kind of beneficial tax treatment, such as reduced tax rates, tax holidays, and the like, you should map your products so that Exactor can apply these rules. This page allows you to map your products to the Exactor product codes, which are known as Exactor Unified Codes, EUC. This tends to be the most cumbersome area for a client. However, you do this only once, and the Exactor system will automatically know which taxability rules to apply to each line item in your invoices. To map an item to an EUC code, all you need to do is the following. Enter the product identifier, SKU, or any other method you use to identify your products. Enter product description. Identify the EUC code in the right-hand frame that best matches the product group. Try to find the closest possible match here. You can see that the EUC code will auto-populate into the Exactor EUC input fields. Click on the Save Mapping button and the new product will be added to the list of SKUs in the bottom left panel. You can easily delete SKU mapping by highlighting the SKU and clicking the Delete button. If you have many SKUs, Exactor allows a bulk upload of a spreadsheet of the SKU list. This is not something we are going to review today. However, it is good to note that you can contact Exactor administration if this is required. Each customer has access to a virtual tax calculator. This module allows users to run single tax calculations. This is useful for low-volume clients that are interested in using a standalone web interface, or for users that need to add transactions to the system. The user enters all of the invoice information and then can choose Next, let's go to the Reports tab. Let's begin from the Committed Transaction Report. We have already seen this report. Information generated here covers all transactions that have been committed in the defined date range, and these are the transactions that are used for generating tax returns. It is important to note that for each report that you see here, the data can be sorted in ascending or descending order by any of the data elements. Simply click on the head of each column and indicate the sort of preference. Also, the data of each report that you see can be exported from within Exactor into an Excel spreadsheet by clicking on the Export Data button. This can be very helpful to you for data reconciliation. The next report is that of the tax calculation. This report is very similar to the committed transactions. However, it reports transactions where revenue has not yet been recognized. For example, an order placed but not yet shipped. Exactor will track and store these transactions, but they are not used for generating tax returns until you tell us that the revenue has been recognized. Then they become committed transactions. Another report to view is that of the exemptions. This report will provide you with information about exempt transactions, the total sales in any state in any given date range which were exempt from taxes. The final report is that of the transaction summary. It reports transactions aggregated to the taxing agency state level. This is similar to the information that is used later for generating tax returns. For each state, we can see basic information that includes the following: total sales, non-nexus sales, entity exemptions, product exemptions, non-taxable sales, taxable sales, total tax, total amount, and transaction count. By clicking on the transaction count, the report will display all of the transactions that occurred in that state and which were used to calculate the taxes owing to the state. By clicking on any of the states, we can see the same information for the state and the local jurisdictions. Last, let's go to the Filing tab, from where we manage the filing of the tax returns. The filing process is managed entirely by Exactor, unless you request otherwise. This is the page where you either approve or reject the returns generated by Exactor. Again, the information is fully exportable into an Excel spreadsheet for ease of reconciliation should you want to do so. Customers have told us that the ease of this system has literally cut down their time for reconciliation from 3 to 4 full days to only 2 to 3 hours. The approval process itself is very simple. This is done simply by clicking on either the Approve or Reject button on the top of the page. Once approved, Exactor will invoice you and collect funds required to cover the tax liability. Upon release of the funds to Exactor's account and prior to the due date, Exactor will file all of the approved tax returns and remit tax payments on your behalf. In this demonstration, we have shown you how easy and intuitive it is to use the Exactor service. You may ask, why should I use Exactor rather than the basic calculator that's in my accounting program or other services? The answer, as you have seen in this demonstration, is in how encompassing, broad, and easy to use the Exactor service is. Simple tables, like those that are in accounting software, do not provide this kind of detail. They do not provide the information necessary for the tax returns, such as the breakdown we saw between all the different reporting agencies. They do not have the logic to accurately determine the nexus where the transaction occurs, as they primarily rely on zip codes, which is how the U.S. Postal Service distributes mail, but not necessarily where tax lines pass. They do not apply tax rules, such as product exemptions, reduced rates, tax thresholds, minimum and maximum. In short, using simple tables is an ineffective shortcut on the road to tax liability. Similar to payroll, sales tax is complex, requiring multiple filings and multiple data points for each filing. The Exactor system was designed from the ground up to provide the highest level of a solution that is cost-effective, easy, and intuitive, so that even the smallest of businesses, as well as the largest of businesses, can easily benefit from our service. We hope that you will agree and will allow Exactor to provide this service to your company. Please contact us at any time with any questions you may have. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.